Good morning to you all. We are Monday. We are the start of the week, Monday the 25th of January. So do you know what that means? Happy Burns Night, everyone. Absolutely. I hope all of you have got your haggis, your neeps and your tatties ready for later on tonight when you're going to be celebrating Burns Night. We'll go over that in a little bit more detail shortly, hence why I am in the tartan. But before then, we have got a jam-packed 1 hour show, 9 a.m. here in the UK. You can join me live, or for you guys stateside, I know it's a little bit early in the morning, and I know many of you actually stay up or either get up and watch live, but of course, wherever you are in the world, you can always watch back at your own leisure. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be previewing a few things coming up. Slightly different in this time. I'm not going to be previewing as such something coming up in Craft Vault. I'm going to skip that one, but I'll tell you why in a second. So what we can do is let's go straight over. This is then going to be coming up on Masterclass, and this is going to be with myself and Joe. This is our pop-out numbers. So we have got our numbers. It's going to enable you to do all of the pop-outs. You've got the numbers, you've got your stamps, you've got all of your paper pads as well. 12 by 12. This full bundle is 20% off. So that is going to be our Masterclass, which is 1 p.m. here in the UK. Or it is 8 a.m. Eastern Time, or you are 5 a.m. Pacific Time. So you can tune in and join myself and Joe then. But then what we've got later on, coming up on Monday Makers, we have got, following on now, this is now going on to our alphabets. So this is our make a statement, and what these alphabets do, exactly that. These make a statements. You've got stamps, you've got dies. We'll be going over them just shortly in a bit more detail, but wait until you hear the saving. Unbelievable. It's 40%. And just to say, another special day, we've got Laura in the gallery today. Hey! So we've got Laura and we've got Adam today. So yeah, make a statement. That's going to be coming up later on Monday Makers, 4 p.m. here in the UK, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, or you've got 8 a.m. Pacific Time. So you can tune in for that one. That's going to be with Debbie, me with Masterclass, and you've got Debbie for the rest of the day. Hey, talking about Debbie, hang fire. Hang fire. Then we're sticking with Monday Makers, and what we've got here is we've got Best of British. No perfect time, no perfect day to be celebrating the Best of British, that is for sure. This is all about the seaside, the beach. You've got your cream cakes, you've got your sun lounger, you've got your crown, you've got all of your British flags, you've got the paper pad as well, a mix of embossing folders, stamps, dies. That is going to be a phenomenal show later on here on Crafters TV, which is coming up on Monday Makers, 4 p.m. here in the UK, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, or 8 a.m. Pacific Time. Now, what I want to do is, I just wanted to kind of allude to something coming up when it comes to Craft Vault. Craft Vault, this is going to be very, very limited, and you won't be surprised to know why, because it's hunky-dory. Now, there's not a lot left, and I'm really scared that even just by talking about it, I might sell some of the items out, and that's going to make Debbie maybe a bit angry. Don't want to do it. Now, you can see here, we've got a rose quartz. This is all about the rose, the quartz. So you've got your little book within that one there. So within that one is 5 by 5 in size. So you can see how that one's got multiple pages. You've got, well, 150 in total, and you've got a multitude of images as well. These are going to be the best prices ever that you're going to see, and there's a reason why these are going to be the last time you're going to be seeing them. I will tell you why just shortly. But keeping along with the rose quartz themed, we have got our rose quartz dreams. This is shimmering silk topper and background. This is all about foiling. You know my love for hunky-dory. You know Debbie's love for hunky-dory. This has got the foiling, the accent foiling. But then to go with that, we've even got the inserts. Inserts, these are matte, so you can stamp onto them, ink onto them, print onto them if you want. You've got so many of these ones that you are able to use in conjunction with the collection, or you can use them as a stand-alone if you want. It's entirely up to yourself. But let's show you some of the things that you could be making when it comes to this collection here. So you're going to see you've got your rich purples, you've got your deep pinks, you've got that hint of black, but that silver really just finishes it off. This is from the Little Book. Little Book, if you love to do your fussy cutting and decoupaging, like I do, I know, you wouldn't have thought so, would you? You've got that option to do that one. Very quick, very simple cards, or you can go all detailed. These are going to be great. I'm going to show you one more, and this would be good absolutely gorgeous as a card, but what about just popping it into a frame? Home decor frame, you don't need much to it, and you've got all that elegance, you've got that 3D-ness to it as well. So that is going to be coming up on Craft Vault later on today. Now, whatever you see in Craft Vault, don't forget we've got the show later on as well. Same products, if there's any left, but completely different demos. So what we're going to do, let's say hello and good morning to everyone. We've got Barbara on Facebook saying good morning from Oregon. Good morning to you. I always know Liz Reese Pedler always popping on. Good morning to you. Good morning, Craig. How was your journey back from Creighton Craft last night with all that snow? Absolutely. Well, many of you know that I was in Peterborough over the last couple of days for Creighton Craft, the UK shopping channel. And let's just say between Peterborough and Stanford, which is maybe about 25-minute drive, the snow was horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. So a 20-minute drive actually took me about 45 minutes. So it really took my time, but obviously I was being safe. So thank you for everyone that was like, Craig, you're meant to be on tomorrow. Are you going to be back safely? I was absolutely safe. Once I got past the Stanford, you wouldn't think it had been snowing at all. Not even raining. Had the window down, music on, best way. Keeps you awake when driving late at night. Then we've got Liz on Facebook. Good morning from Devon. Having a snowy day. So first time catching Craig Laird's wake-up call. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you tuning in, and it's nice to have a snow day, isn't it? You know, when you can just chill out, relax, cup of tea, cup of coffee, and just watch and get crafty. Then we've got Helen on Facebook saying, Happy Burns Night, Craig. Love the shirt. Thank you very much. Well, I couldn't do a wake-up call with Craig on Burns Night without a bit of tartan, or plaid as some people will call it as well. Angela, good morning. She's on YouTube. Morning to Craig and the team. Morning, team. They're saying morning back to you. And crafty friends, wonder what Craig has planned for us. Well, funny enough, let's have a look. Let's see what we've got planned coming up later on today. So what we're going to do is this is our pop-out numbers, and these are so much fun. I think what we'll do is let's just show you a couple of the sort of things that you can be creating. Lovely card front, looks really nice, really elegant, but then look at this. Ta-da! Look at that, you've got that effect. Look at that deepness that you've got with the numbers. No extra dimension when it comes to glue gel or foam pads. It's all worked into the mechanism. So if you're going to go with your deep pinks, and then look at that with the blacks, maybe you're going to use your rose quartz for that one if you want. But what we've got within these ones here, I have got some boards. Let's show you these boards just quickly before we go on and do a bit of demoing. So the numbers here, I'm going to show you just shortly how these actually work. Keep it in mind, we've got a full 2 hours masterclass with myself and Joe, 1 p.m. here in the UK, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, 5 a.m. Pacific Time. We'll go on them a bit more detail. You've got the numbers, you've got your scoring lines, and that's going to enable the pop-out, which I'll show you in a moment. And then we've got our additional numbers as well. We've also got stamps, we've got additional dies as well that you're able to use to decorate. But let's go for it. Let's dive all the way in, and let's create a card for this one. So what I'm going to do is I've created my card blank already. So this one, just a white smooth stamping card that I've got here, and it is 5 3/4 by 8 inches. Now this size, it's not a specific size, I just wanted to make a nice smallish card. Now what I've done is down the middle, I know it's very hard to see, but there is a pencil line down the middle there. Now it's kind of imperative that you actually use a pencil and don't score it at the moment, because if you score it, what will happen is you're going to get that score line right through the number, which you don't want. So what we're going to do is let's bring in our number. So if I go, let's go for a first birthday. Now if I don't get this full demo here, I'm going to do this one in a lot more detail later on during masterclass, but with some other demos too. So what we're going to do is within the die, you've got the outside die cutting edge. We've got the bit that doesn't die cut, but this bit and this bit here, can you see that little line? That's an emboss line, so that won't cut. And then what we've got is these 2 little notches side by side here. So what I want to do is I want to pop that one on to my card blank, and those tiny little notches, these just run parallel with my pencil line that we can see all the way along. And then what we're going to do is we are going to tape this one down. So I'm making that as straight as I can. Let's move it in a little bit, and we can pop this one on. and then we can pop that one on, and we're going to run this one through our die cutting machine. Now, depending on the size of card you make, you know, it will go through many of our die cutting machines. If you wanted to make a really, really slim card, this is going to go through your Gemini Midi or your Gemini Go, so you've got no problem in that way. But when it comes to the numbers, you know, you go into a shop, and we just think in numbers on cards as it is. You get, what, first birthday, you get 21, you get 30, you get 40. This one, you know, you could have a fun 76th birthday card, or 28th. If you've got other additional dies, if you like to have a bit of fun, you could do 28th and a half with some of your letter dies. All these different fun ways that you can be creating your cards. So what we can do now is let's move these out of the way. Notice how good I'm getting at staying tidy as we're going on. Even Laura's noticed as well. She's impressed. Takes a lot to impress her, so, you know, that works well. There we go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to peel that one off. Now what I'm doing, this is where, if I had popped that score line all the way across to start with, we would get that score line within the number, which we don't want. So what I can do now is I'm going to move that out the way. And do you know what I'm away to show you as well? Do you know what I need to do later on? I need to sort this out. It was nice and tidy. I had it on the back seat, didn't have it secure, and I hit the brakes. How do I say it? I just hit the brakes as normal, just because I was needing to slow down. It wasn't an emergency stop, I wasn't skidding, don't worry, but I hit the brakes as I would, and the whole lot went flying. So that's my job. So if Tiffany, if you're watching, I don't know if you are because it's so early in the morning, it's Tiffany whose bag that I'm using, well, her brand of bag. I will be sorting that later. It's not, you know, it's not her bag. You know, it's be a bit difficult to get it all the way from the stateside, but it's Tiffany's bag that I use. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to score along that pencil line. So I'm going to work my way down, and I'm not going all the way over the number. I'm stopping where my number is, and we're going to score again. We're going to finish that one off. So what we can do now is we can bring this one in, and although this is our white stamping card, this could still be a glitter card if you want to, Centura Pearl. But what I'm doing now is just carefully, I'm starting to pop these ones in, and then I'm going to push these ones up because you've got the embossed line here. What we're going to do is I'm going to pop these bits out, and I'm going to just fold them in, folding that one in, and again on this top one, we're going to fold this one in to place as well. So very, very carefully, we're going to go over, and then I'm going to press them in. And we're going to give that a nice score line, scoring them ones, a nice burnish, and then can you see now look how cool that is. We've got our pop out, we've got our number one. So what I'm doing now is let's bring in our tape runner. I'm going to pop my tape on. Now I'm going to pop a little bit because I want to do this demo in full detail later on. So I'm going to pop my adhesive onto these areas here, making sure I don't pop any adhesive onto my number, otherwise that's going to stop it from popping out. And I've taken a card blank, but I've just made this one from that 12 by 12 paper pad that comes within that bundle. And then I'm going to fold it over again, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that one in, and here I'm going to place it up to the spine of the card, and I'm going to press that one into place, and I'm going to press it, and then, so if we go that way, look at that, hey! So that pops up neat, tidily, nicely, and so much fun as well. Then what we could also do is let's bring in our die again. So using a piece of our baby pink glitter card, what I've done is I've ran through the number on its own, and I've just trimmed along the embossed lines. And then what we can do is we can pop that one on into place like that one. Let's just secure that a wee bit more. And then you can secure this on with some more tape. Then within the actual set, what you're getting is you're getting these stamps and dies. So you've got your banners, you've got your border so you can decorate it. You've got your bunting, you've got the little buntings, you've got the tails, you've got the hearts, all these fun ways. But then what we're also giving you too is you're getting all of these sentiments, 30 in total. So you're getting happy, you're getting birthday, you're getting years young, party, today, and you're getting some of those words, for instance, congratulations, a few times, but in different fonts. So you've got that option there. Now what I'm not going to do, I've got all these bits to decorate, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I finished it, and then to see how to actually make it, you'll need to tune into masterclass later on with myself and Joe. Now have a look at the front of this one here. So we've just got happy, decorated it nicely, and then look at that, happy first birthday. We've got all of these stamps that I've used. I've coloured in as well. So we've got the one, we've got the is that the ordinals that also come included in that stamp set as well. So this is the sort of thing you could be doing. You know, if it's a baby boy, you could do it in your blues. Maybe you want to do it in your yellows or ivories. But the thing is, the fun thing is you get to create them. And certainly as a little one, actually, I would say any age, it's that sort of card you're going to keep looking to see how they've done it. So that's coming up later on today, 1 p.m. here in the UK. It is 8 a.m. Eastern Time or 5 a.m. Pacific Time. So what I'm going to do is let's have a few reads of your comments. I'll pop these bits out of the way, and then what we're going to do is we're going to do another bit that you are all loving, and this is kind of like our 5-minute tips and tricks segment, whereas I'll show you some either tips or tricks that you're needing to know. Maybe some of you need to learn, some of you are just needing a bit of a helping hand, and I know this one is one that we get asked quite a lot, or you ask us for help quite a lot, so we're going to cover it, so stay tuned in a moment. Right, we have then got, my mum's popped on as well, she's watching from Facebook. Good morning, Mum. I would say it's good to see you too. Obviously, I can't see you, you can see me, but good morning to you. We've got, we will do, don't worry. Laura's just saying we need to Skype you in again at some point. We will do. We will absolutely do that. Helen on YouTube saying, good morning, Craig. Love Hunky Dory, like me, and looking forward to your show. Talking about Hunky Dory, Friday, launch day, Hunky Dory. Put it in your diary, or if you don't use a diary or paper diary, pop it in your phone. Or don't worry, I'll be reminding you on social media, so you're all right. Sally Bond on Facebook saying, oh, Craig, your Poke Tool will be in there somewhere. Yeah, my one of like 20 of them will be in there. Lisa on Facebook, good morning from Sarasota, Florida. Love waking up to you. Oh, that's a lovely thing to say. Thank you so, so much. Andrea on Facebook is saying, can't wait to use my pop-out number dies. Cannot wait. Always remember, get social. There is the strap along the bottom. Send us, an email, or if you want to know any hints or tips for future show, get your comments in. If you as well want to send in any photos, could be of any of your numbers. Just to say as well, later on in February, although I'm doing the pop-ups on Masterclass, Sarah is coming back with kind of like a craft along throughout the month. So what she's promised to make, I think it was a few weeks ago, she will be back, so don't worry about that one. So that's coming up in February. Right, tips and tricks. One of the questions I tend to get asked is when you're stamping with some of your inks, you get that bubbled effect on your stamps, and that just means what's happening is when the stamps are being manufactured, sometimes, although you can't see it, you get kind of like a residue just sitting on the top. So that could be the residue of the stamp medium. It could be just bits and pieces from maybe obviously the plant, the warehouse where they've been created. So what I've got a few bits and pieces here. Give you an idea. What I've also done is I brought in my stamping platform against our rocker block. I say against, kind of a bit like personal preference, but we'll go over each of them just quickly within about 5 minutes. So what we can do then is let's bring in some white stamping card here. And I thought what we'll do is let's show you how to kind of like prime it if you are having that issue when it comes to getting that bubbled effect onto your stamp. I've just taken one of the Best of British, and this is just the mini bust. Now this one I haven't used, it's a brand new one, so this is why I thought we'll show you what you can do with that one. He says, do you ever make a cup of tea sometimes and you just think it's spot on? You know when you're savouring that's that one. No, I know when you get that perfect cup of tea and then you let it go cold. It's kind of a nuisance, but oh well. So what we're going to do with this one is let's show you a couple of things that you can do if you are having that bubbled effect. One of them is taking your low-tack tape on this one here, and what you can do is taking your low-tack tape and pop it onto your stamp and give it a little bit of a rub, and then what you can do is taking that one off. So let's peel that one off. Peeling it off doesn't do any damage to your stamp whatsoever. Now you cannot see this. You will be able to see it if you do this at home. I can see a slight bit of an angle. I can see I kind of get the outline of this stamp. It's a little bit of residue that's just been sitting onto that stamp. And then what I can do is I can go back again, and I'm going to keep going just a couple of times. If you want, you can go back and take a fresher piece. And this is going to help what we would say is priming it. Don't need to do this with all of them, but sometimes if you find you go to stamp your stamp and your impression have got that bubbled effect, then this is what you can do. There is an additional way that you can prime it if you want, is if you take, let's just finish that one, what you could then do, now you don't need to do both of these, you don't need to do the tape and also what I'm going to do next with our translucent clear ink pad, just do one or the other, but I am just going to be using the same one for showing you this tip. You can then, before you go on with your ink, taking your translucent clear, or your translucent clear pad, you can give that a nice stamp, give that a little bit of a coverage. Just a couple of taps, just enough to give that coating. It's going to give it that bond. It's going to enable your ink to actually stamp. Then you can go on with your chosen ink. It's not going to do your ink any damage, whatever colour or whichever one that you use. For instance, water reactive, quick dry, etc., etc. It's given that hold, it's given that bond, and that will stop that bubbled effect. So then what we can do is we can move on to whether you're using your stamping platform or if you're using your rocker block. So I thought what we can do is bringing in our stamping platform for this one. And as I said just at the start, it's one of those that's kind of like personal preference. It's what you feel comfortable with. Sometimes you find it easier with a stamping platform. If maybe you have dexterity problems, you find it easier to press with the full-on hand against rocking the rocker block. It's entirely up to yourself. Give either way a shot and try. But with your stamping platform, what I'm going to do is, you're relatively new to us at Crafter's Companion, or even new to stamping or crafting, we can just press. Our stamping platforms, we have a range of different sizes. You'll find all of these and anything else I'm using on our website, crafterscompanion.co.uk.com or .eu. And I'm going to lift this one up. Now we've got that perfect impression when it comes to that stamping platform. Now what you can do, if you sometimes find with, not necessarily with our stamping platforms, because we've got those 4 arms or those 4 legs, sometimes with other platforms you can get that excess ink all the way around that you don't want it. So what you can do is you can use our rocker blocks. Now our rocker blocks, I'm going to pop that one into the middle here. It clings just as it would with anything else, but with the rocker block, can you see you've got that rock? So you've got that curvature, and at each side you've got that butt edge. So there's a couple of millimeters at each side, and that's the same depth as the stamp. So what that enables you to do is, let's take our stamp. Now I'm going to stamp my ink over the top. Now you don't need to worry about getting any of the ink all the way around. The only place you don't want the ink is on the edges, because this is the only part other than the stamp that's going to actually come in contact with your card. So if I go, I wonder, Adam, if I go at this angle, if we could go so that you'll be able to see. So what I'm doing is, see how I'm sitting at that's kind of like a 90-degree angle, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to rock, and then you'll see now we've got that impression down at the bottom. So that's going to give you that crisp, clean impression. You're not going to get any ink where you don't want it. And it's one of those that, you know, it is a technique or a form where give it a shot. Give each one a shot. If you find you do have issues sometimes getting ink where you don't want it, rocker blocks, that can tend to be a really good solution. As long as you don't get the ink on the arms, you are absolutely good to go. So I hope that helps. Anything like that, any additional hints or tips that you want to know or you need to know and need help with, do just let us know from that address that came up earlier on, and we will do what we can to help. So before we go on, what we're going to do is we're going to crack on. We're going to keep going with some of the demos. I'm going to be showing you some of these make a statement. So this is the make a statements, all about the alphabet. Now with these ones here, what is so cool about these, I'm not going to go through the full alphabet, do not worry, but let's bring in a couple of these to show you. So this is where we've got, now I think I've pretty much got the full alphabet. So let's see I tell you what, let's go for B, because I've got B to the side of me here. So see what we've got here is, for instance, B. We've got the letter B, we've got the decorative detail, that's a die, that purple underneath is a stamp, we've got the rest of the word to finish it, but also then you've got new, baby and girl. So you could be having new baby or baby boy, baby girl. So show you the idea when it comes to the stamp set. This is where we've got, on one side, you've got your full big stamps. So this letter, this B, this is a stamp, that is a full block stamp that you can stamp with. And there is the additional words that we've got there that I showed you a moment ago. But you've got the decorative die as well. So that is how what we've done is stamped with the purple and then die cut the B and cut that out with black and popped it over the top. So that initial idea and concept runs exactly the same way throughout. Obviously each word, each letter has a different word or different lettering with it. So I thought what we can do is let's have a look and let's do kind of like a little gift box kind of card. And with this one here, it's nice, it's small. And what I've been trying to do is I've been trying to think of demos where we are able to maybe give to our loved ones at the moment. Maybe if, you don't see them as much, maybe like me, you live completely different, hours and hours away, that it's a nice little card, a little box just to say, thinking of you. I know we've got text messages and WhatsApp and video call, but sometimes it's nice just to receive something through the post. So what I'm going to do for this one, let's bring in my stamping mat and I'm going to bring in my small stamping plate as well. And let's go for this stamp. So we're going to take this one off. So let's peel this off and then we'll bring back in our stamping platform. And I'm just going to pop that into the middle. And then what I'm doing with this one is I'm going to use our quick dry and I'm going to use our fuchsia for this one. So let's bring this one in as well. And then what we can do is give this a stamp. I've also got a piece of pattern paper here. So we can see we've got our pattern paper and I'm going to stamp as I would with any of my other stamps. Now, what we'll do, I can see the comments out the corner of my eye. Also, give me a shout. Let me know what you were up to at the weekend. If you, did you chill out? Now, I know I tend to say to people, what did you get up to the weekend? It's kind of like, well, nothing. Didn't do anything, can't do anything. But just let me know, maybe you've done a bit of crafting. Maybe you chilled out with the kids or the grandkids. Maybe you've done a bit of cooking. Maybe you've done a bit of baking. Let me know what you've done. Maybe, did you get out for your fresh air? Did you go for a walk? Where did you go? Did you go maybe round a lake? Maybe just round the block? Maybe round the high street? Let us know. Gives me ideas as to, because believe it or not, I'm off this weekend. I know. How did I manage that one? I'll probably end up in my craft room, but do you know what I mean? At least I'm off. So I need some ideas of where I can kind of walk into my town. So I know you don't know my town, but rivers or lakes or forests, wherever. Give me ideas. Laura will point me in the right direction, absolutely. Now we've stamped our X onto our card. Now I have deliberately just stamped it towards the left. It's not exactly in the center. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in another stamp and I'm going to bring in the S for this one. And I could have done them at the exact same time, but I want to do each of these ones separately. And these are our make a statement. So this is coming up later on today on Monday Makers, which is going to be 4 p.m. here in the UK, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Pacific Time. And other than masterclass, which is with myself, you've got Debbie the rest of the day as well. So you'll be able to get her technique. And when it comes to these ones, they make a statement, this has got an incredible 40% off. And this is where you're getting all of the numbers. And what you're also getting are all the letters. And these are the best price ever that you'll have seen the make a statements. And you're getting your ampersands as well. So you've gotten the full shebang when it comes to that. Now what we're going to do is I've got my stamped X here, so we've got as if it's saying a little kiss that it's sending to you. And then what I can do now is I'm bringing in a bit of black cardstock. So let's bring in our plates and we can pop that one on. Many of these, as you will then see, we've got... Now you have to let us in the joke, Laura. We'll not go down that road. Adam thought that X was... do you know what? If you are on friendly terms with your ex and you want to send them a little card or a box just to say that I still think of you, although if it's your ex, why would you? But you know, I personally wouldn't send it to my ex, but you know, you might do it. You might be in that perfect position. On that note, at... What are we? We are 9:30. Oh, I can see the clock there. 9:30 on a Monday morning. We will just carry on and avoid the rest of that subject. Right. So, swiftly moving on. We can take our die. Moving on. What we can do now is, if you wanted to, you can leave the stamp on its own. But what you've got is you've got the ability now to pop your die over the top. So you're getting that colour just bursting through, but you've got the detail when it comes to the die. So then what we can do is let's bring in our dotty tape runner for this one. And I'm going to pop my adhesive on. Don't forget things like your double-sided adhesive sheets you could be using, or maybe you've got your sprays. That would work well too, to give you that quick and instant bond. But we've got our little layer just here. Laura's just saying, which is a great idea, Laura, is things like your home decor as well. If you want to, you know, pop them onto a card and then maybe into a frame, you could do. Or bunting, you know, kids' party, if you're theming it with colours, or maybe characters with certain colours. I'm trying to think, you know, maybe like if you're doing a Superman theme, you could be with your reds as well as your blues. So much fun, and having all of those letters, you know, it really enables you to do so much. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in a box lid. What I can do is I'm going to pop my adhesive on. In case anyone's wondering, it is 5.5 by 5.5, and I've scored it 3/4 of the way. And this is the lid. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to do the base, because I do have one finished to the side of me. But actually, no, I tell you what, we will do the base, because I need to do the base to pop one of my other layers in. So I'm going all the way round. This is exact same size of cardstock and the exact same line at 3/4 of the way in. Although the only difference is using the scoreboard, I scored at the box base side. So here we go, let's pop these ones in. So this is now my little box that we've got here. What I can then do is bringing in this layer that I've just created, we can pop that one in. Let's pop our adhesive into place. So let's pop that one on. And then what you could even do at this point, I tell you what, let's do what I'm away to change what was originally done. So this box, it is, can't even remember what I said, 4x4. So if I bring in my guillotine here, and then what I'm going to do is bring in my scoreboard. So this is where a lot of the times that I will use my scoreboard as well, but having the guillotine, you know, at hand, you'll be able to score as well. That's why, you know, we all love our guillotines. Now, because that box is 4x4, what I want to do is I want to make a little card blank. So I'm going to do 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, just so it's going to sit in nicely. So I've folded that at 3 3/4 in. So now I can trim it down. So 3 and 3. That's a great idea. Sarah is saying you could make your own game of noughts and crosses when it comes to these ones. You could pop them onto mount board. We had mount board. Both me and Debbie had mount board on some of our shows last week. Still be on the website. Check them out. Pop them in your basket and make little games in that if you want. That would be really quite fun. You could incorporate that if you're doing homeschooling as an arts and crafts, and then obviously you can work that one in. So I like that idea. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in another piece of cardstock or pattern paper. I've already stamped hugs and kisses, which also come within that stamp set. So if I bring this one in here, you'll be able to see you've got your O's, you've got your kisses, and you've got kisses, hugs, and. So you can build this one up. What I might need to do is trim my black card slightly so we can work our way around, all the way around here. And I'm going to trim it slightly. So if I want to do a really small layer, you know by now, 9 times out of 10, when it comes to my mats and layers, I tend to do them at 1/4 of an inch increments using my guillotine. If I want a really, really fine edge, what I do is I layer it up and then I just take a slither at a time, just until I get a very, very fine layer. So there we go. As Leanne would say, absolutely, Adam. As Leanne would say, a fly's eyelash. She never, or when I say never, never, she always comes out with something new and surprises me. When I think I've heard all of her sayings, she comes out with something else. So there was one last week or the week before when we were on cartload together. Yeah, I'll think of that one. It was a funny one. It was a funny one. What I'm going to do is how am I going to work this one? I tell you what, let's pop it on the front. Because I've got the X on the top of the box, so this could now be the front of your card. You could then write your little message into the middle. So if I bring in my box, let's pop that one into place, pop that one over. So we've got a nice little box that we could send to someone that that you love or that you're thinking of them. And then when they open it up, what you've got is your little card into the middle there. The original one, just to show you, that stamped image was actually placed and stuck into the base of the box. But if you wanted to do kind of like a bit of a Z fold or an accordion card, you could do that and you've got all your messages or photos popping out. So many different ways when it comes to using and creating with these. Don't just think of your cards, but think of your projects. It could be your home decor, could be mixed medias, you could be doing all those different things. Go back, watch all of us that you can do on YouTube and see all the different demos and techniques we've done in the past. So what we can do is let's move this out the way and we'll do a couple of comments and then we're going to go over to someone very special. We are indeed. See what you're all saying. They're in the studio right to the side of me. I'm trying not to look. I'll get distracted. Did you hear that laugh? Did you hear that? It was a bit of a giveaway, didn't it? We've then got Shirley on YouTube saying, on the show, you stack the plates differently than what it says to do. Which way is right? Right, actually, that's something we could actually tell you what, that's something that I'll cover tomorrow because it's very, very simple to explain. There's no right or wrong way, but I'll explain why some of us will pop the magnetic sheet on one way and others like myself will have it the other way. Doesn't make sense? Don't worry, I'll explain that one tomorrow. Maureen on YouTube saying, good morning Craig, hope you had a nice weekend, loving all these stamps, and I had a lovely weekend down in Peterborough. And then we've got Alison on YouTube saying, chilled out watching CC on YouTube. Well, have a very good morning and a rest of the day. Hope you can tune in for the rest of the day on Crafters TV and see all of us. Myself later on masterclass, but then the rest of the day is Debbie. And talking about Debbie, we've got you eventually.
Thank you for having me on your show.
Oh no, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I got up really early for you, just for you, Craig. Won't do it for everybody, but I got up just early for you.
Oh, it's nothing to do with that cherry Pepsi Coke that I popped in the fridge in Peterborough, is it? Oh no, stocked up for you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for popping in. Yes. And what obviously we want to do is have a wee bit of a chat, because obviously we know for all of the crafting that you do here at Papercraft, but you've also done, or you did, time-wise, you've done other crafting as well, didn't you?
Oh, Craig, I've always been creative in some shape or form. Literally, I have been, I think it's embedded in you. Yeah. As a young child, learning to sew, learning to knit, and that's where I kind of started it. Always been creative, always been drawing, but I think there's something. Creative is it's not just a hobby, it's a way of life. That's how it is for me, and it's always been my go-to thing that keeps me calm. If I'm ever stressful, doing something with my hands is always a good thing. So yes, I've always been doing something or other, from cross-stitching, tried a bit of knitting, loved sewing, but yeah, doing anything I could and get my hands onto it. And then obviously look where we are now.
Look where we are
completely,
here.
yeah.
I know. You've brought in something now, because Debbie came in just before we went live, so I've not actually, I've seen Which Is the Way to Show It, and at a distance, I've not actually seen. Wow.
Well, I mean, I do love. Now, tell me which camera I'm going in, because I'm going to pick it up and show you. Camera, which one was that? Oh, hello there. Actually, I'm so used to being over there.
That's
in
it.
front of you. It's so completely different. But I love a bit of book folding. So it's something that I've really, really enjoyed. And this is what I create. So I turn books. Now, for anybody out there, because I've been accused of being a book murderer, do you know, but I read the books first, Craig. I love reading. Reading's one of my biggest passions as well. I love reading. So I do love reading, but what I like to do is turn it into a little bit of a home decor piece afterwards. So these, what you can see, I mean, I pinched this from my mum's house.
Oh, look.
I pinched it. She don't know. Well, she does actually, because I had to ask someone to go and pick it up off at doorstep yesterday. But yeah, something that I made for my mum as a little keepsake. Popped a little photo of us on there.
Oh, Debbie.
But just showing you what you can do with instead of giving them away, or you know, you can recycle them, upcycle them. Just imagine though, Craig, because when I made these, before I discovered flower foaming, and I swear flower foaming would look beautiful on these books. It
would.
Really, really would. One of my favourite pieces is this family book that I have. This sits in my hallway because family is absolutely everything to me. But again, just decorate up from your your inside and your outside. And then a book that I did for a friend, but then she passed away.
Oh.
So I actually kept it as a little memoir, well, you know, a memory of her. And I just need to add my photos on, but it's still quite, you know, so I'm just, But again, just turning your books into, you know, something a little bit different, little bit like statement pieces, little bit of home decor. So I absolutely love it. So that's one of my passions.
You know, I know obviously you said, you know, some people when it comes to the books are kind of like, oh, you know, turning them into something like that. But if they're not going to be read again, why have them just sitting on obviously your bookshelf or that, or in a cupboard? You're just as well being able to do that, and you get that incredible, and there's meaning to it as well.
Exactly, and it's all about upcycling for me. I know there's a big thing outside, you know, out right now, upcycling. I've always done it in some form or another. It started back when I was a teenager, where I actually started upcycling clothes and things like that. So that's exactly what I used to do. I used to chop my uncle's clothes up, God rest his soul. I hope he's not listening. So I used to take his big granddad shirts and I used to chop them up, chop sleeves off, take collars off, tie-dye them, because I love tie-dyeing. I got into, in the 80s, tie-dyeing was a big thing. But I always used to upcycle clothes, and that's where, you know, where my love of clothes started. Bernie would be really proud, but I never used to use the sewing machine, Craig. No, it was always by hand. Hand stitch. In 80s you could get away with it, maybe not so much these days.
Not now?
No.
Because then obviously if that's obviously book folding, obviously you've done other things with your cross stitching and that. So obviously any of the daughters, you know, they've done any, taken any of the crafting?
Well, you see, creative flows through the family, doesn't it? Or so they say. Well, I like to think that my daughter got some inspiration from me. 100%. I say that, but she actually went to university, Craig. She passed, she graduated as a fashion designer. So she actually does that, and she's just recently started a business. Perhaps not the right time. Last year she started in lockdown to literally start a business up. She actually still works. At the minute she's obviously like a lot of people, furloughed at the moment, because where she actually works is for a fashion company.
Right.
So yes, that's what she does, and her business is just taking off. But she makes some beautiful things, and I fetched some pictures, Craig, to show you the kind of things that she makes, because she is absolutely phenomenal. Tanya, if you're watching, I am super, super proud of you, and I really hope that your future is bright and lots of success, because your hard work and determination in life with everything that you do, she deserves it. She really does.
We've actually got some pictures to show. Got some to show.
Absolutely fabulous. Let's have a nosy at these. Oh, now look at this. This is beautiful, this, Craig.
Look at that.
This is that. I mean, she does at the moment. She loves turning bed sheets and curtains into dresses, and that one's a lovely tweeny one. I don't know if anybody remembers. Now, this groovy chick has got a little bit of history behind this. She's just sold this groovy chick piece to a young man who is on RuPaul's Drag Race.
No way.
In the UK, and his name's Helly Diamond, and he's bought that from her, but he's gifted it to a friend of his. So, and I've seen pictures and it looks absolutely stunning. These are obviously what Tanya's modelled herself, but this is what she does, like Disney characters. That's Winnie the Pooh. She turns things into dungarees and dresses. That's your Disney princesses. My favourite, the Teletubbies. I just love that.
Oh, I've just seen what's coming up.
Have you seen this one?
Oh my gosh.
Honest to goodness, that was one single side of a pair of curtains that she turned into, that actually nearly broke the Instagram down into meltdown because everybody wanted them.
Not surprised.
Absolutely incredible. And then one of my favourites, because it's one of my favourite Disney movies, is Toy Story. But that's what she does. She recreates, she upcycles, not just bed sheets and curtains. She takes clothes and she just turns them into like pieces of art that people clamber to get. I keep telling her she needs to do something for her mummy. That's the next thing that I want.
Yeah. Oh, these are, they're just absolutely, they're just phenomenal. You know, I just, certainly that Coca-Cola one.
Well, if you're ever interested, go and check her out. And her company's called Salvaged, but her Instagram handle is we_are_salvaged. So go and check her out on Instagram. Give her a like and follow, and go and have a look at what she actually creates.
If you pop it on your Insta, if you do that on Insta and even tag me, or I'll do it on Insta as well, so we can all share it, and we'll do it on this Crafters TV page as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
We could literally talk for hours. Saying it politely.
I'm a bit worried, Craig. I'm a bit worried about the 11 o'clock show. Let me just tell you. Can I just say I'm a little bit worried because I know things are hanging by a thread. So let's see if I'm going to be here at 11 o'clock.
We will soon see. So I'm going to go across, and I just blink and love you to bits, Debbie.
Big. I was going to virtual hugs, but not virtual. We're in for elbow bumps.
And the elbow and that as well. I just love you a bit. Rightio. So what we're away to do now is we're away to go over, and I will see you shortly.
Bye.
And we're going to have a look at the best of British. So within this collection, I'm going to go. There we go. We're going. There we go. It's like an Egyptian song, isn't it? I just need to do the Egyptian, yeah. Rightio. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at the best of British. So this is exactly as it says in the title. This is all about the things that you know and love about Britain. So this is our teacups, our cup of teas. Ironically, I've got mine. We've got high teas. We've even got things like the Wellington boots. Yeah, we do need them as well. We've got plant pots. We've got the beaches. We've got the seaside. We've got rose gardens. We've got embossing folders. So we'll look at now. This is a picket fence, and this is one of, I say, our traditional or standard embossing folder. In other words, it's not a 3D one, but it is nothing standard about it whatsoever. I'm going to quickly kind of go through these ones here. Here is your rose garden. So you've got all that floral, you've got all that kind of like as if you're escaping into the garden. You could colour them in whichever way you so wish. Then we've got probably my personal favourite. We've got the beach day, the seaside. So we've got these ice creams, the 99. We've got the beach hut, the postcard. We've got all of these good ones that are going to work well with maybe your memory books or your scrapbook pages. Possibly what everyone, apart from a cup of tea and a high tea, probably when it comes to London and Big Ben, and we've got the city scene within this one here. We've got the London, kind of like the skyline there. What do you call it? Like with the London Eye skyline, it is, isn't it? Yeah. And then we've got the big bus, we've got the London Eye, as I say, but then we're going on to the tea, and we've got the high tea, we've got the teapots with the little teacups, and all these additional stamps that you've got included as well. So I thought what we can do is let's have they almost forgot. Let's see if I can, I'm going to bring in the full lot. Because what you've also got as well is a 12 by 12 paper pad. Now this is going to have the colours that run throughout, the red, the white, the blues, but it also incorporates well with the images that you've seen. Double-sided, this one's not open, so I don't want to open this one in case it's Tracy's. I don't want to get into trouble. You'll still get to see all of the designs. Do you know what? I heard a rip as well. I'm not looking. Here we go. So let's go straight. Just see, Tracy just sits out the back. Well, she used to sit right out the door there, but obviously with everything that's going on, she now sits further on, so distancing and that. But I can still just see her through the... Oh, apparently she can hear a torn paper pad for miles and miles. The hearing on that woman. Oh, the hearing. We've got toppers at the back, so you cut them out with your guillotine or your scissors, but you can see we've got toppers, we've got all these sentiments, we've got the postcards, we've got clouds, now look at this one here. This one here would be good. Imagine just popping that into a frame. Put it into a frame, that's all that you need to do, and pop it onto your wall. But you've got all these swirls, you've got all your teacups, you can see the colourways that run through. Polka dot. Now, within Monday Makers, with this full collection, you're getting 30% off this full collection. And that's everything that I've showed you, but so much. And double-sided as well. So you're getting 48 sheets in total with that one, 12 by 12, 180 GSM. So what we can do is let's bring in some elements that I've pre-prepped, and we can start to build these ones up so that you can see how it can work. We can build our scenes if you want. If you like to do your layering when it comes to your Pebeo drawn gums, then you can do, or use them with the Stampin' Dies as it comes together in the collection. So the elements that you're going to see me using, I've already pre-cut and coloured, is using from the high tea on this one here. Do love a high tea, especially on a Sunday. Something about high tea on a Sunday that I like. Like that. Got to have cakes. Got to have cakes. Great hotel back where I live in Carnoustie, the Station Hotel. Incredible high teas. On that note, what we can do is let's bring these ones. Oh, now I'm thinking of food now. Now I'm thinking of food. What we can do is scones. And now here's another question. You know where I'm going to go with this one? Your scones, jam or yeah. Maybe not the best question to ask when we've only got kind of like less than 10 minutes to go. This is going to be 5 minutes. This is going to be a question for another day. I'm not even going to ask it. I know. So many different things I was going to be talking about, wasn't it? Neeps and tatties. Haggis, neeps and tatties tonight. Laura's asking, is there a Burns Night dessert? Well, we do have, he says, that's not actually had it in years, is we have something kind of like called Kraniken, with, it's got obviously some cream and that in it, but it's got like oats and stuff like that in it. Now, it's not something that we would tend to have on Burns Night like every single year, but, you know, if you're thinking of a Scottish dessert, then you could have Kraniken. Raspberry Kraniken trifle. Apparently that's a nice one. Laura's just found that on the World Wide Web. But it is nice. It is nice. Sounding like my granddad there. Tinternet. Garlic bread. So if you're not familiar with the comedian Peter Kay, you won't know exactly what I'm on about. Yeah, garlic bread, I can assure you garlic bread is not a part of Burns Night, just in case you wonder. Same with anyone that actually thought, forgive me, I apologise for anyone that thought those little creatures I posted on my Facebook post yesterday were actually real. Haggis aren't a real creature, it's kind of like a myth. It's kind of like the Loch Ness Monster. It's a myth that the haggises are real little furry creatures and you go out hunting for them. It's not. It's not. This time of the morning, we won't tell you what's in haggis, but if you know what's in things like black pudding, you kind of get the gist of where I'm going. But what I'm doing, as we were going over that, I've just created a Z fold card. Now, you've seen Sarah make these many, many times, and this is what I've done here, incorporating all these layers of paper pads that all come included. Then what I've done is I've brought in some nesting dies. So this is our nesting dies that were, now, do you know what I shouldn't have done? I'm going to do this and then I will sort it later on. I've popped adhesive all the way around, which I don't actually need, because if I pop that into place there, if I was to press all of that down, what would happen is my adhesive would stick to the back, which I don't want it to be. So what I'm doing is I'm going to press that just now, and then later on I'll come back and sort that one. So this is the effect that we're going with. Then what I've done on another layer, white stamping card, I've die cut my layer here, and then using the Stampin' Dies, I've just started to stamp the little cake tray, as well as that really fancy, elegant teapot, elongated teapot. And then what I can do, pop these ones in. So who was that, Laura? Jean Marie is asking what neeps are. So neeps is mashed turnip. So you can go mashed turnip or swede, depending on what you like. So yeah, and tatties are potatoes, because Erin didn't know what that was. Erin was shocked. Erin was shocked, because it's, yeah. Erin was shocked at that word, but we'll say that one. So yeah, so we've got haggis, neeps and tatties when it comes to Burns night. So that's what I've got for my tea tonight. The one thing I will not be having is the whiskey, because I'm not a fan of whiskey. Clearly Laura is, so I won't be having that. But if you are, then you can enjoy your neeps and tatties. What I'm doing now, just to finish this one off, because my bag is in such a mess, what we can do is let's bring in, have I got glue gel? I'm looking for a syringe with glue gel. Right, tell you what, here we go. It's probably under the car seat, Laura. Yeah, you're right, probably is. What I'm going to do instead is let's pop some glue gel on, and we can start to position these. We can start to build these ones on into place. So we've got our little teacup and saucers. Now, if you want to see full-on demonstrations, that's going to be later on today when it comes to Monday Makers with Debbie and Joe. So that's going to be 4 p.m. here in the UK, 11 a.m. Eastern Time or 8 a.m. Pacific Time. So you'll see start to finish demos. And it's a best ever price when it comes to best of British. If there's any time of the year that's going to be great for this collection, starting off, I know we're coming to the end of January, but going into the springtime, the summertime, you'll be able to create all your cards. Well, absolutely, we could, if you want to, use them for around about Easter time. You could be doing that one. That was Adam's idea. Cream tea in springtime. Sounds lovely. Sounds nice. But here we go. Let's just do one last bit. And then what I'm going to do is pop my glue gel on. And then I've got some of these little sentiments as well. So we've got keep calm and drink tea. So we could put that one. I'm going to pop that towards the bottom. And then we've even got keep calm and eat cake. Remember when the keep calm was, you know, it was everywhere. You know, it was on t-shirts, it was on billboards, it was on everywhere. It was like keep calm and craft on. We had all these different keep calms. And actually, yeah, this year is a year that we certainly need to keep calm. But here we go, a relatively quick and simple where I've already done all my stamping and die cutting, but this is what you can start to create using that full collection. You've got the stamps, you've got the dies, all different scenes that you can see here, but this is where we're building our own little image if you want to. So that's coming up later on Monday Makers with Debbie and Joe. Right, so I cannot believe yet again that is us now coming towards the end of the show. Absolutely flies in. 1 minute it's the start of the show, the next minute it's just over with. So what we're going to do is I'll just say a few more highs to you just before we go in a moment. But we have got, don't know, we've got, oh, there we go. Am I going? What way am I going? I'm going that way. There we go. We're getting there. We're getting there. We have got later on today on Crafters TV, jam-packed day as usual. We've got Craft Fall. So it's all about what's remaining of Hunky Dory. It is limited stocks, so that is the best price yet, and it is once it's gone. It is gone. So that is 11 a.m. here in the UK, 6 a.m. Eastern Time or 3 a.m. Pacific Time. Don't forget we've got Craft Fall again later on tonight. If NN stays in stock, same product, completely different demos. I do think many of them will actually sell out, so you've got that later on. Then what you've got at 1 o'clock here in the UK, we've got Masterclass. That's with myself and Joe, all about the pop-out numbers, 8 a.m. Eastern Time or 5 a.m. Pacific Time. And then before Craft Vault, to finish the day on a big style, we've got Monday Makers. And that again is going to be with Debbie and Joe. That's 4 p.m. here in the UK, 11 a.m. Eastern Time or 8 a.m. Pacific Time. So you can see it's jam-packed full. Couple of goodbyes to you. So many are just coming in with your comments. Thank you so much. Really, really do appreciate it. I love how you guys love the show as much as I do as well. We've got Kathy on YouTube, Judy on YouTube, we've got Lynn on Facebook, we've got Linda on YouTube, Angela, we've got and Jean as well. Thank you, Craig. I've learned something else. So that's about the neeps. You are very, very welcome. Rightio, have a lovely rest of the day watching Crafters TV. Debbie and Joe are coming up very, very shortly, and then I'll be up in a few hours with Masterclass. Thank you to Laura and thank you to Adam. Have a lovely day, stay safe, stay well, and we will see you soon. Bye.